You know that feeling, right? You fire up a vulnerable machine that's labeled easy, and hours later, you're just stuck, totally defeated. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to tear down that whole way of thinking about difficulty. It's time for a new mental model that helps you pick the right fight for the right day with the brain you've got right now.
I mean, we've all done this. You've got maybe an hour to spare, you scroll through the lab list, and you just pick one that sounds cool or looks fun. And it feels like a great strategy, right up until the moment it spectacularly blows up your entire evening.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does that beginner-friendly machine end up eating your whole Saturday, leaving you feeling more frustrated than when you started? Here's the secret. It's not you. You're not bad at this. The problem is the label itself. The entire rating system is fundamentally broken.
Okay, so let's dive into that. This first part is all about how that simple, easy rating can lay the perfect trap, especially for a tired mind. I bet this story sounds a little too familiar. So picture this. It's late on a Thursday. I just want a quick, satisfying win before logging off. I pick a beginner box, get that initial foothold pretty fast, and then a brick wall. Nothing. For 2 straight hours, I'm just escalating my tools, not my thinking. I'm getting louder, more aggressive, less precise. The next morning, with fresh coffee, it took me literally 5 minutes to see the simple, obvious logic flaw I'd completely missed. The machine wasn't hard, but my brain was fried. I had picked a slow-burn puzzle when all I had the energy for was a quick sprint. And that frustrating night led to a huge realization. We have to completely change how we measure the challenge in front of us. It's time to throw out those vague, abstract star ratings and replace them with something way more useful, something predictive. Okay, this is it. This is the big idea that's going to change the game for you. Real difficulty isn't a star rating. It's not a number. It's an exploit profile. What that means is the specific type of thinking and the chain of steps that a machine is going to demand from you.
So let's put these two models side by side. Star ratings, they just compress way too much information into one little number. They hide what the source material calls the hidden tax. You know, that one specific skill you're a little weak on that ends up costing you hours? Exploit profiles are the opposite. They help you predict not just the time it'll take, but the emotional cost. And that helps you build your skills in a much more focused, transferable way.
All right, so that's the philosophy. But a philosophy isn't very useful unless you can turn it into a practical tool. So let's actually build out this new navigation map.
We're going to call this the tier map, and I want you to think of it like weight classes in boxing. It's not about whether a fighter is good or bad, it's about matching opponents fairly so you can actually have a productive fight. This map cuts right through all the marketing hype and gives you a real universal way to judge a machine's complexity.
So here's how it breaks down. Tier 1 machines are your confidence builders. A single misconfiguration, a well-known vulnerability, a CVE, quick wins. Tier 2 adds one clean pivot. You get in and you have to make one more hop. Now, Tier 3 is where those easy labels really start to lie to you. This is where you need multi-step logic. By the time you get to Tiers 4 and 5, you're not just solving a puzzle anymore. You are managing a small project. You're dealing with complex chains or even entire Active Directory environments.
Okay, now this next idea is absolutely crucial. This is the concept that trips up almost everyone. Getting from that initial foothold to root access is rarely a straight line. Every extra step you have to take, every pivot, doesn't just add a little bit of time. It has a compounding, a multiplying effect. And you can see that multiplier effect right here. Just one extra pivot can easily increase your expected time by 50%, maybe more. 2 pivots? You could be looking at more than double the time you originally planned. And why is that? Well, think about it. Every new hop is a full mental reset. You have to re-enumerate, analyze a whole new attack surface, and completely switch your context. And that is exactly how a simple chain turns an easy box into an absolute monster. So now that we have this map, we can get way more strategic. Let's look at how you can apply this thinking to different types of challenges, so you can perfectly match the machine to the time and mental energy you actually have available.
Let's start with web exploits. I want you to think of these as having a fast lane and a slow lane. The fast lane is for when you've got an hour after work. We're talking outdated plugins, default credentials, predictable stuff. The slow lane, though, that involves custom business logic, where you have to figure out how the application thinks. That's a weekend project, not something you jump into on a whim. Privilege escalation is another area where this reframing is a total game changer. Linux Prevesc often just rewards a calm, consistent, methodical checklist approach.
With Windows, a lot of what people call difficulty is really just a lack of familiarity with the specific tools and workflows. For someone who's fluent in that environment, it can be lightning fast. It's not harder, it's just a different discipline. And then there is Active Directory. You have to treat these machines like a completely different sport. I'm serious. This isn't something you just dip into for a casual hour. You need to block out a serious chunk of time, like 2 or 3 hours minimum. And you need to redefine what a win is. Your first victory isn't getting domain admin, it's just achieving map clarity, understanding how everything is connected. All right, theory is great, but let's make this super practical. I mean, here are 2 simple tools you can use in the next 60 seconds before you even start a machine to make a much smarter choice.
First up is the mini estimator. It's just a quick mental calculation. You ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What's the likely entry point? A known CVE or some weird custom logic? 2. How many pivots or hops do you think you'll need? And 3. What's the privilesque target? Based on those 3 inputs, you can get a rough but way more honest time estimate. So if you see custom web logic and you're pretty sure there's at least 1 pivot, boom. Don't even start unless you've got a couple of hours blocked out.
The second tool is your eligibility checklist, and this one is about you, not the machine. It's a quick gut check. Do you feel mentally sharp? Do you have a solid block of time where you won't be interrupted? If you're answering no to these questions, that's not a failure. It's just a sign to pick a different kind of training for today, one that matches your actual energy level. So, what's the big picture here? All these tools, this new map, this isn't just about avoiding frustration. It's about building real, actual, sustainable momentum in your training. And here's what that looks like as a simple weekly habit. On Monday, you intentionally choose your labs based on their exploit profile, not just what looks fun. Midweek, you take just 30 minutes to review your notes and your failures. That's where the deep learning happens. Then, on the weekend, when you have more time and energy, you deliberately set aside a bigger block of time to tackle a complex chain or an AD lab. This is how you build skill methodically, brick by brick.
And that's the real payoff. This is not about trying to find more hours in the day that don't exist. It's about being so much more intentional with the time you do have. You don't need bigger weekends, you need better lanes. By choosing the right fight at the right time, you make every single session more productive and way less demoralizing.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. The next time to sit down to train, forget the star rating, forget the easy or hard label. Look at that machine and ask yourself, what is its real exploit profile? And is it the right fight for me today? You have the map now. Go figure it out.